Okay, today we're going to continue by talking about how to support student learning. And we're talking mainly about technically supporting it, but of course there are affective important considerations like engagement that come in as well. And the way we're going to conceptualize this is through the zone of proximal development. And the zone of proximal development is somehow this Goldilocks view of problem challenge and picking a problem with the right challenge for a learner. Why does that matter? Well, because if the problem is too hard, it has both affective and technical issues. One is that students are likely to get frustrated and may get so frustrated that they quit. The other is that you can't learn material that's too far above what you know now. I'm not going to try to give calculus to my 9-year-old. I mean, she's just not going to learn it. There's no point. Even if she weren't frustrated, she's not going to learn it right now. But on the other hand, if you give someone something too easy, then they also don't learn from that. I can have my daughter practice addition every day, but she already knows addition. That's not contributing to her learning. And it's also going to make her bored and not want to do things in the future. So we need to pick something that's at the right level, the level for productive struggle, because we want them to struggle a little bit because that means it's not too easy. But we want the struggle to be little enough that it's productive, that they're learning through that struggle and not merely struggling. So an added challenge to this is that as the student learns, their zone increases because now they know more. So now things that weren't easy before are easy, and things that were too hard before are now the right zone, in their zone of proximal development. So this brings in the idea of scaffolding. Let's say you've given a student a task that's higher than their zone of proximal development. You can give scaffolding, which are academic supports, to make the task easier so that they can complete it, to bring the task down into their zone of proximal development so that they can learn skills and then eventually get to the skill level where they could tackle a task like that. So what does scaffolding really mean? Well, you need to have a learning goal. And that learning goal needs to be too hard for the learner. And then you provide scaffolds to help the learning occur. And then those scaffolds need to be removed because learning occurred. And so that the student now gets up to the level where the original task is within their ZPD. And now they do the task without that scaffold. Okay. All right, so let's look at Legos. We have these Duplo Lego sets. And so Duplos are useful because they're extra large, and small children don't have the dexterity to put together small Legos and especially take them apart. Turns out taking apart Legos is a lot harder than putting them together. So Duplos are much easier to both put together and take apart. And so this allows children to construct things when they wouldn't normally be able to with normal Legos. The other way that this particular set is scaffolded is that it has directions with it, step-by-step directions for building it. And so that would be a single step. A second step would be now a student knows how to follow directions, but maybe if you just give them a pile of Legos, they can't really conceptualize where everything goes, how to build anything. So these would be another step in that you use the same subset of Legos to create 3 very different looking structures. And so the idea is that then the students see how the same Legos can be used in different ways. And finally, the last step is Master Builder. You have lots of Legos, and sure, you might be given a little pamphlet with directions to make some little things, but you're given lots of Legos, and the idea is you should just construct whatever you want. Now you have the skills, and so this is different from constructionism, right? We actually gave more explicit instruction, more activities that the child could do that built those skills that would be useful for just playing with the Legos in an unstructured way. Now, some children would look at these Legos and without the instructions, and they would just start building and see what happens. And they would learn the same things as the other children learned with those step-by-step instructions. Some children can do that. Others will be frustrated by that. And they will want the step-by-step instructions. And then once they've done it enough times, then they will build whatever they want. So it all depends on the student.